Champion Power Equipment provides the power that makes your life easier for home, work, or play. Portable generators and inverters, home standby generators, winches, log splitters, water pumps, pressure washers, and other outdoor power equipment. Whether you need a reliable source of power, an extra hand, something to get you out of a jam in a moment's notice, or just the right tool to get the job done, the Champion Power Equipment family of products provide power, dependability, and peace of mind.
Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to Richmond Raceway. That's right, we're back for race 2 of the Fall Brawl Champion Power Equipment E-Series here. And again, coming to you from Richmond Raceway for what? For the Farm Paint 100. That's right, we're going to be turning 75 miles here tonight at Richmond Raceway around this 3/4 mile D-shaped oval course here. Going to be a great race. Looking forward to seeing all of these drivers back out on track again, as we had a fantastic race last, actually 2 weeks ago at Texas Motor Speedway, and we'll get to a recap video on that just a moment. I'm Kevin Ford. I'll be with you here tonight in the booth, and to my right, the none other Mr. Austin Knight. Austin, great to have you with us, buddy. I know this is a race we've been really looking forward to. Love the short track racing here with these trucks.
Short track is alive and well, especially here at Richmond, and especially in these trucks. You're going to have cars sliding all around this track, and especially here at Richmond.
Yeah, it's going to be a
we
wild.
might have a few.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, it's going to be quite a night tonight for sure. These drivers have got a lot of pressure here coming into round 2. Very tight track. Some have a lot of experience at this course, some not as much. So we'll see how that plays out in qualifying here in just a couple of moments. Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of that recap video, let's take a look at how things went at Texas Motor Speedway just 2 weeks ago.
Texas Motor Speedway played host to race 1 of the Champion Power Equipment Fall Brawl Truck E-Series, as the Ride TV 120 would see 29 trucks roll off the grid to begin the season. As they thundered across the stripe, it was the pole sitter of Anthony Pelican that would grab the lead into turn 1. However, out of 4, Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series driver Ben Rhodes would make an attempt to lead lap 1, but was just short at the line. The field would remain tight at the front as the lead would exchange multiple times over the first 15 laps, but on lap 17, the first caution was brought out when the number 98 of Grant Enfinger makes side contact with the 90 and started a chain reaction, creating problems for not only the number 88 Menards truck of Nick Gardner, but also front-end damage to the number 25 of Nate Lynch. The number 99 of Ben Rhodes would bring the field back to green from the outside row and would dominate the lead for the next several laps. Thomas Hesselink worked his way up from starting 8th to 3rd in that duck coat pavement product Chevy, but found himself in trouble entering 1 and made a tremendous save to keep that truck in one piece. It was the number 25 of Nate Lynch, though, that would have the scariest ride of the night, as he collected the 89 battling for 9th, sending both trucks into the wall and Lynch airborne, where he finally came to rest in the infield grass, but not without severe damage. On lap 37, Ben Rhodes would once again bring that field to the green, but this time the 88 Menards truck was on the inside and he was ready to battle. But just as the opportunity was there, the Green Mountain Grill's number 44 of James Harris had different ideas, and he was going to spoil the party in this mid-race battle to take over second. Meanwhile, that Gander RV and Outdoors driver of the number 98 Grant Enfinger was working his way back to the field from that earlier incident and was up to 10th by lap 43. That number 90 of Richard Thornshell was sure pouring on a late race charge and found himself closing in on the top 5. Although it was Thomas Hesselink in that number 45 who would bring out the next caution, while leading the field out of 4, he loses grip on the back end and collects the 19, sending himself into the catch fence and acquiring severe damage. With just 15 laps remaining, that number 88 Menards truck of Nick Gardner would bring the field back to green, but it was not long before Ben Rhodes would take back the lead and continue his march. Then, on lap 73, entering turn 1, the 91 of Kevin Kershaw lightly collects the bumper of Rhodes, sending them both into a spin and collecting a few others from the top 5 in the process. As we re-racked the field with just 3 laps remaining, the pole sitter in that number 19 Carolina Nut truck of Anthony Pelican was on the point and could taste victory, but he had competition. To his right, the 88 Menards truck, who had been running strong all night, was ready to disappoint. Then on the inside of row 2, it was Grant Enfinger in that champion-powered number 98, so no pressure for Pelican as he got a great launch on the restart. As they exited 4, coming to the line with just 2 laps to go, the 88 had closed right up to the bumper of the 19. By now, they had gapped the field by 5 car lengths, and as the two are exiting turn 2, Nick Gardner gets a great run in the draft and makes a move to the inside to take over the lead. It was a battle to the end as that number 88 Menards truck of Nick Gardner would grab the win, with Anthony Pelican in second and the number 3 of Trey Jackson finding himself picking up a strong third.
Welcome back, everybody, to Richmond Raceway. That's right, coming to you live here this evening from the virtual Richmond Raceway here just on the north end of Richmond, Virginia here in the U.S. So great to have you with us tonight as we've got quite a barn burner here, if you will. And speaking of barns, Farm Paint 100 is the sponsor of tonight's event. Farm Paint, be sure to visit them at farmpaint.com and check out all those paint needs for your property. So great to have you with us, Austin. Man, what a race we've got tonight. This is going to be quite the showdown. What are you seeing out there with these guys getting ready for qualifying coming up here in a moment?
Well, I'm seeing these guys in practice. Well, certainly, thank goodness Farm Paint is a sponsor of this race because the walls and some of these cars are going to require a bit new paint after some incidents that we've been seeing right now. It's Eli Childs currently sitting in first with Kevin Kurzer in second with Brett Butler in third, as we have a big incident right here, T-bone into the wall.
Oh my gosh. I tell you what, they're really pushing that out there. I would imagine they're probably working on their qual times right now, trying to get some free space out there to see how they're going to lay down a qualifying tonight. It will be lone qualifying. Drivers will be out on track by themselves. So right now they're just wrapping up practice. Speaking of practice, we'll talk about the practice this previous Sunday evening. The drivers have a 3-hour practice window leading up to each one of these events that are happening every other week all the way up until December 16th. And Anthony Pelican was at the top of the board in Sunday's practice with a 21.654. Eli Childs was right behind him in with a 21.685. So literally 0.03 of a second separating those two drivers. Greg Janczak coming in P3 in practice with a 21.766. So those 3 drivers were at the top of the board on Sunday, and right now those drivers are not faring well. Eli is actually right up at the top of the board right now, but Kevin really doing a great job out there. Kevin Kurzer in that MSP Motorsports truck really putting down a great time.
Yeah, practice times, they fluctuate throughout the week. Depends on a whole factory of situations, who's in that session, how are you running in that session, the track state, if the track was dry, if the track was dirty or not. There's no rain in iRacing yet.
Yep.
Just
soon enough, we hope. Right, exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, before we get into qualifying here, let's go ahead and introduce Curb Records recording artist Dylan Scott for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in
episode of Cowgirls. Practice makes perfect.
They're like, you're too pretty to be riding broncs, and it's such a backhanded compliment.
Then it's day 2 in Syracuse, New York.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing history reborn.
Make a ride, Duke. You can drive this son of a gun. This is the pick of the draw right here.
Oh, no.
It's a brand new episode of Cowgirls every Wednesday night on Ride TV.
Welcome back, everybody, to the wonderful Richmond Raceway. That's right, this beautiful D-shaped oval, 3/4 mile track here tonight. What an exciting event we have for you. Qualifying, getting underway here momentarily. The drivers will be out on track by themselves in their vehicles. Lone qualifying tonight here on iRacing. It will be a 2-lap or 5 minutes. So they have 5 minutes to get strapped into their vehicle or into their simulator, if you will, and to get out on track and get those 2 laps. Those do not count their out lap, obviously. They'll have their, if you will, get up to speed lap to get that qualifying lap started. Also tonight, just to give you a quick rundown on the specifics for what these drivers are going to have to face, the things they're going to have to think about while they're out there competing on track. They need to be mindful of things like their quick repairs. They only get 2 of them tonight. Quick repair, well, on iRacing, drivers get this little free repair. It's don't need to haul it into the garage and get the hammers out. They can actually come down pit road, check a little box with their mouse or their button box, and that will give a full repair to the vehicle. They get 2 of those this evening. Once they burn those up, if they find themselves involved in an incident, well, guess what? They're not going to be real happy about that, because that car will no longer be able to be repaired, or truck, if you will, and they will end up pretty much sitting on pit road for the rest of the evening. The other important increment to tonight's event is going to be those tires. You bet Richmond Raceway loves to chew them up. Drivers will get 3 sets of tires for tonight's event. 3/4 mile course here tonight. 75 miles. We'll be turning 100 laps here at the track. So, Austin, what do you foresee here this evening? I know you weren't able to join us for race 1, but I know you've watched some of the footage from that first round. It was quite an event, and it was neat to see Nick Gardner in that number 88 on that final lap. What a job he did to get that win.
Yeah, it was a fantastic job. Richmond is going to be completely different than Texas. Texas is kind of more of a pack race. It allows for a lot of drivers to be a lot closer to each other, as we're looking at TJ Majors. He goes up into provisional pole, but Richmond, it's a short track. You got to have short track racing here. These guys can follow very close to each other, but whoever can manage these tires, whoever has the pace around here, can start pulling out a little bit of gap. You aren't going to have that ability to draft, but it's the ability to stay clean, because coming out of turn 2 and on that backstretch is going to be very key, because that turn exit is a killer. We see a lot of cars snapping right, and I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more yellows here today for single car incidents.
Oh, you betcha, Austin. That is going to be a big factor tonight, is that exit out of 4. Throttle control there is just so delicate. You really have to time it right. And as that truck pushes out, you get that track out effect going out near the wall there. You really got to put that input into the wheel. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of drama unfolds on that exit out of 4 this evening. A couple of things I want to mention, some just general information about the drivers in this event here, in this fall brawl that we're all having just a blast with here. As we wrap up the Real Truck Series coming up here very soon. The drivers in this invitational are from throughout NASCAR. We have drivers that are involved in all capacities, whether they're involved from a talent side, from tire changers, you name it. Just to name a couple here. TJ Majors, a lot of drivers on iRacing know who TJ is. Obviously, Dale Earnhardt Jr. spotter for many, many years. Now spots for Ben Rhodes, and also Joey Logano, obviously in the number 22 car there in the NASCAR Cup Series. So great to have TJ Majors with us tonight. Also, Nick Gardner, who won our Texas Motor Speedway race. He's the mechanic on the number 88 of Matt Crafton at Thor Sport Racing. So we have quite a diversity of drivers out here as these guys are getting ready to grid. Austin, this is going to be an exciting one here this evening.
It certainly is, as you see our qualifying results up here on our screen. TJ Majors is up on pole, followed by Brent Butler. Red Jasnak in third, followed by Grant Enfinger in fourth place. Anthony Pelican in fifth, followed by Nick Gardner, Stephen Pless, Robert Grant, Eli Childs, James Carroll, Trey Jackson, Richard Forshell, John Thacker, Robert Lawrence, and Russ Kilgore in 15th, followed by James Harris, Nate Lynch, George Lung, Caleb Force, Kevin Kersler, Robert Nguyen Jr., Brandon Wallace, John Fix, and Michael Potter at the end of the grid, with Robert Nguyen and Thomas Helsink also at the back of the grid. But they didn't actually put in a time.
Yeah, as the drivers are, sitting on the grid now, a lot of things are going through their mind. It's patience, patience, patience here at Richmond Raceway. Getting out of 4 comfortably, especially on these early laps. Tires are going to be cold. It's going to be a real factor here at the beginning to make good decisions, keep that situation awareness up.
Yeah, you got to be patient, especially here on the short track. You feel like you can just dive it up the inside or dive it through the middle or around the outside, try to work the tires very early. But I've seen cars go 4 wide here, but in these trucks, it's a little bit different, and it's going to be very crazy, especially on these restarts.
Yep, absolutely. If we see that number 22 of TJ Major sitting on the pole here this evening, as we start rolling off the grid here, heading down into turn 1, those drivers are going to get packed up and paired up as we get ready to start this Farm Paint 100 tonight. Yeah, 100 laps here at Richmond Raceway. Again, this track, it's really an interesting course. The degree of banking here, 18 degrees on the front. The rear straightaway is just 2 degrees. The corners are slightly banked. It's very difficult to get down into the bottom of those corners and hold it tight, especially as you get long into these tire runs. So tire conservation tonight, making sure they don't use them up early, is going to be a big factor. Here we go, Austin, as the field rolls up out of 4.
We got one more lap on the under pace car.
That's right, one more lap. That's right. Well, I always forget Richmond Raceway. We have 2 laps under the pace lap here. So looking forward to seeing how we're going to get things underway. Getting excited here. Looking forward to seeing how Anthony Pelican, Trey Jackson, some of these drivers that did really well in our last event at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's see how they fare tonight. That 21 of Anthony Pelican starting on the inside row of row 2, Grant Enfinger and that Champion Power Equipment sitting on the outside of Anthony there. Those two had quite the battle going on at Texas Speedway 2 weeks ago. Looking forward to seeing how this plays out this evening. Third row there on the outside, we'll find the driver in that number 88 that won that event there at Texas Speedway. Here we go, Austin.
Green flag is out, and let's go racing for the Champion Power Equipment Fall Brawl Farm Paint 100 here at Richmond. TJ Majors gets a great start, followed by Brent Butler, and everybody is really keeping their spots, but it's 2x2. Cars are flying down onto the inside coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get tight here. Those early laps, the drivers are going to want to gain as many positions as they can here. Oh, we've got a driver loose down on the bottom here.
Robert Grant.
Let's see what happens with race control. Robert Grant down. He's out of traffic. We may stay green here. It looks like we are going to stay green so far here as we're wrapping up lap 2 with TJ Majors still holding off Brent Butler in that number 67 coming out of 4.
Yeah, top 3's got a good gap after that start. Anthony Pelican and Grant Enfinger are battling right behind him as we're right on board with Craig Jasnak. He's just sitting in turn 2 right now, going at a beautiful 135 up to 140 miles an hour, getting on to the brake, heading into turns 3 and 4 as these 3 very tight with each other.
Yeah, you can see right there the 21 truck getting right up to that wall coming off the exit. It's just such a delicate dance right there to not damage that truck coming off that corner here as we see them starting to gap 4th and 5th now by just a couple of car lengths, getting a little bit of space there. But we have 3 trucks behind them in a train, 1 a loner behind that driver, so we'll see how this starts to spread out as the laps develop here tonight.
Short track racing starts are always crazy. Some people want to take it safe, some people want to be aggressive. And especially in the midfield, you're going to start seeing a lot as we got 3 wide action on the back straight.
Yep, absolutely. We got 3. I'm going 3 wide, the 3 to 34. The 34 gets up into 3. He's now into the wall. Let's see if we get a caution flag on that. He is able to recover the vehicle and get going. Race control is going to leave us green here this evening.
Leave us green, but Trey Jackson hard its wall. He's got big damage on the back bumper as TJ Managers and Brent Butler starting to pull away as right behind him, Craig Jackson and Anthony Pelican going side by side, and they're going side by side for the lead right here.
Yeah, Craig looking to get moved down on the inside there. Very difficult to do. You got to really get down on the brakes there hard to not get into. We've got a caution out. Caution is out. Take a look at that here momentarily to see what brought out that caution. But a great drive out of the 22, Austin. He's been holding that front. Okay, here we go. Coming off the backstretch here. Looks like we have another 3 wide attempt going down. That's the same incident here where the 3 got up into the wall.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, quite a bit of damage to that right front end. Absolutely. Hopefully he's... that front end alignment won't be too bad there. We'll hopefully get an in-car shot of him shortly.
I feel like the suspension of that car is fine, but where the caution came out, I think it might have been with Trey Jackson just once more. Let's ride on board with Trey Jackson as we go 3 wide, and there's that hit in the back end, and there he goes into the wall. And let me tell you, being somebody who's actually slamming into the wall at high speed, that does hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank goodness he's in a simulator, although a lot of simulators these days actually have motion effect with them, whether it be hydraulics or D-box system that rocks that simulator around, actually gives you that sensation when you make impact to a wall. You get that little bit of jar in your seat. You see a lot of simulators today using seat belts. You'll see 5-point harnesses in a lot of these simulators. Hard to believe, but the realism, the immersion that these guys get, the deeper that effect is, the better they are able to drive their vehicle and use the simulators for really what they're designed for, and that is for the immersion and to get them wrapped up in that vehicle as if they're in that real truck.
Absolutely. Everyone here on iRacing, they like their own ways to immerse. You can do 3-screen, single-screen, motion rig, and for the crazy people like me, VR.
Yeah, VR is another great way to go. Absolutely. I haven't quite... oh, here we go. Here's the replay now. Our director has found that, the 14 truck. Yeah, just losing it down in the tri-oval there. So I think he was able to get going again, but there may have been an issue following that brought that caution out. So we're...
That replay is actually on the... and that was on lap 1 that we were watching.
Huh. Isn't that something? Interesting.
Well, a lot of incidents happening here at Richmond, but like we said, it's a lot of single car, not a lot of multi-car. We did have that 3-way incident, but what brought out the caution, we're still trying to figure out.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Just a little bit of a delayed yellow by race control, just making sure that that the caution was needed. We try to not throw too many cautions out here, but of course, obviously, if the track has been impeded upon by wrecked vehicles, or we see that there's certainly going to be some adherence to the race by the incident that took place on the course, then they'll go ahead and throw that caution.
Yeah, Richmond is kind of a coliseum of a racetrack. A lot of battles and a lot of paint shed, I must say, is here, and body shed, and a lot of dents happen on cars from here.
Oh yes. These walls are painted on a regular basis here as soon as these events are completed at Richmond. Not so much on the simulator, though. Thank goodness in the virtual world, that paint stays on quite a bit longer than it does in real life for some reason. All right, here we go, Austin. We'll be coming around to get that green, I believe. The pace car lights are out as we see the field packing up and pairing up. We'll be that Those drivers are listening to race control right now. They're getting that field stacked up nice and tight here as we're getting ready to go back green.
The iRacing Mustang is pulling off right now. They're all lining up behind TJ Majors. He's leading them all the way up to green, and here we go.
Oh, TJ Majors gets a huge jump there on the start as he leads that field down into turn one. Greg Jancek on the outside, and the 21 truck on the inside of that 67 of Brent Butler. Both of them side by side now. Grant Enfinger looking to make a move on Anthony Pelican there, down on the inside, coming up out of 4.
Grant Jancek makes that move up into second place. Great restart by the 21. The 98 sends it up onto the inside. Grant Enfinger on Anthony Pelican. He gets back up into 4th place. Now watch out at turn 2. Here comes Brent Butler back onto the inside of Grant Jancek.
Grant Enfinger sitting tight here, just waiting. Here's the opportunity. The 21 gets a little loose up high, had to check up, was heading up to that wall that we've been talking about. Better to get out of the throttle, give up the position, than take the damage on the truck. That 98, Grant Enfinger working his way up. Here comes Nick Gardner. He's now finding himself up in 6th place, right behind Craig.
Anthony Pelican gets up there into 4th place now, getting so close to the wall, and Craig is just not wanting to stay behind anybody. He's going to try to battle it back up underneath these cars, but I think he had a little bit of a wiggle coming out of turn 2, and here comes Nick Gardner down to the inside of Craig.
Nick Gardner, winner of race 1, making his first big move of the night here, coming out of 4. Underneath that 21 truck, he's got him by a half a car length at the line.
It's all about corner entry here at mid-corner speed. He got it right there.
What a move by Gardner. They're heading down the backstretch now. Our leaders are coming through 4. Grant Enfinger still doing a great job up there in P3 right now. Watching Nick Gardner here. Holding down P5, back to the leaders now. TJ Majors doing a incredible job up there at the front of the field, but that's 67 of Brent Butler. What a show he's putting on tonight.
We got Richard Ford show right here. We got a
wreck out of 2.
Straight.
Oh, that Lucas Oil 89 truck down on the bottom. Looks like he has damage on the rear end of his truck.
Robert Nguyen Jr., George Young, Robert Lawrence, John Fix, and James E. Harris all involved there. It was a parking lot at some point as caution comes out here at Richmond after they get everything sorted. So we didn't really have any chaos happening, but I believe I'm counting about 5 cars involved.
Yeah, it was quite a nightmare there coming out of 2. We knew it would happen eventually. We're going to step away for just a moment while we're under caution here. We'll be right back.
You can filter a whole factory full of water in about 20 minutes. Our process takes a bit longer. 300 years from source to sip. Naturally pure, beautifully clean. Blue Spring. Draw deep.
I don't have any fears.
I ride rough stock for the thrill of it.
I want to cover every bronc I get on.
Bronc riding, it's not really about the money because let's be real,
that's the best part of it.
Give it all you got, baby! Be bad, Sarah, be bad! Holy, oh my God! She had one freaking stirrup!
It's gonna be a battle. I had it in my mind, I'm gonna win this rodeo one way or another.
As you can see, your pavement takes a beating, but the elements are no match for Sealmaster. Sealmaster protects pavement, helps prevent the need for costly repairs or replacement, and enhances curb appeal. Sealmaster's nationwide network of professional seal coat applicators will help keep your pavement looking and performing at its best. Trust your pavement to Sealmaster. Call 1-800-395-SEAL or visit mypavement.com to find a professional applicator near you.
I still miss Earnhardt. I like a cold beer now and then. I'm all about my mama. I take a bullet for
Welcome back, everyone, to Richmond Raceway. Yeah, it's nighttime here at Richmond Raceway, as it usually is for all their major events here, even in real life. Just like the virtual world, cameras going off in the stands. Was just watching that on our commercial break here. All those cameras, look at them go, getting all those shots of those beautiful trucks out there on track. What a night we've had so far. Our first big caution just getting underway. We're going to hand it over to Austin here. Austin's going to give us a rundown on what happened there.
5-car incident brought out the caution, the race off pit road. Not really a lot of the leaders actually going on to pit road. Robert Lawrence actually was the only one who went down pit road, but that was a bit earlier. But there were about cars from 19th all the way into 20th, 25th. Actually, we're just in there as we saw about 7-car collision on the back straight coming out of turn 2. Just a little bit car getting loose into one another, then heading into the wall, massive pileup ensues.
Yeah, it's almost inevitable at Richmond. We're going to have those kind of connections with the trucks. They're going to get tight. Things are going to get loose out there, and we knew it was going to happen eventually. But again, we're going to get a restart here coming up, and we'll see how this action's going to unfold over these next few green laps here.
Yep, lights are out of the pace car. They're all lined up side by side. TJ Majors and Brent Butler, your front row, as the iRacing Ford Mustang is pulling off right about now. And it's time to line them up and get ready to roll here at Richmond.
And TJ Majors gets a nice launch again as he gets that beautiful truck across the line. But Grant Enfinger, what a move down to the inside of that number 67 of Brent Butler. Here they go again, doing that duo dance down the backstretch as we've seen so many laps already tonight.
Enfinger was stalking TJ Majors on that restart. He had that dialed up. Down the inside he goes, coming out of 4. He's got a half truck length already on Brent Butler on his outside, and he's going to dive down to the inside. Brent's going to try to stay there with him, and Anthony Pelican's going to try to sneak his nose in there as Grant Enfinger jumps up into second place. Brent Butler sends it in mid-corner, almost gets into the back of Grant right there, maybe giving a little bit of a bumper run, and Anthony Pelican dancing on the wheel and the bumper of Brent Butler ahead of him.
Anthony doing a great job there. He's being patient. He did that at Texas Motor Speedway, and I expect it again tonight. That is a driver that likes to just sit there, but here he goes. He is making a move to the inside on Brent Butler there. That 67 truck and that Vivitar having to go up high now. He lets him in. What a move. What a move by the 19 out of 4.
Playing it very safe. He saw the car on his inside, didn't want to have it early. Wreck, it's lap 28 out of 100, and Craig Jasnak is going to send it down to the inside of Brent Butler, and he's got up into 4th place. And ooh, a little bit too much speed mid-corner. We might see a switchback right now for Brent Butler. They're side by side heading across the line.
These guys are just not letting up here tonight. I would have thought there would have been a little more patience here early on, but you know what? It's bringing the action right to your living room here this evening, folks. What a race we have going on here. We see Nick Gardner now trying to get up on the back end of that 21. Brent Butler in that 67 doing a great job. Brent holding down P4 and Anthony in P3 still.
It's a full-on fight here in Fall Brawl, and I'm pretty sure that's why they're calling it Fall Brawl, because all these guys giving it all right now, battling all the way from the front, all the way to the back of the grid. Nobody's letting up, and caution is out. We got cars around on the back straight.
Oh, that 25, hate to see that. Nate Lynch and that Lynch Motorsports vehicle. Terrible situation for him right there. Doesn't look like he incurred too much damage. A little bit on that left front end, though. We'll see if he's able to get that repaired in the pits. Some of these drivers will opt to not have any repair work done on their vehicle. If it still feels like it's handling fairly okay, they don't want to use up one of those 2 quick repairs that they have for tonight's event. Once those are gone, they are gone. As we see the drivers checking up now on the backstretch, getting up behind that pace car, we see a couple of cars, that 45 there of Hesslink, he's got a little bit of damage on his vehicle. We'll see what happens here. The 14 as well. Bobby Grant Butler's Racing. Oh, that's tough to see. Several vehicles involved.
Several vehicles involved in their own little incidents, but I'm going to say with these little small dents, as we have almost the entire field in the pits, but we have a few cars that are staying out. TJ Majors is the only lead car that has stayed out, and as well as Richard Fornshell. Fornshell was back in the pack a little bit. Yeah, I think he feels a bit comfortable on these tires to stay out just a little bit more, but these cars on these newer tires, to see cars taking 2-4 tires as well, winning the race off pit road is going to be Grant Anfinger, followed by Anthony Pelican, Brent Butler, Craig Jasnak, and Linton Gardner, your top 5 off the race off pit road. These guys on these newer tires are going to have a lot more grip than the other guys. Here's our replay of what happened.
Yeah, looking here to see, yeah, go ahead, Austin.
Well, the 44s went down the inside of Robert Lawrence, and Lawrence, he held that outside line, but he was trying to hold that speed that we could hold on the bottom line. The back end just got loose from him, and just came in front of Nate Lynch as we're riding on board of Nate Lynch right now. See that car, everyone checking up, gets into the back of him, just unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time, bam, into the bumper, and around he went, and caution comes out. Second caution of the day.
Yeah, looking at pit road here. Yeah, Grant Enfinger checking the tires here to see what these drivers are actually taking in the pits. Looks like Grant came in, he took left tires, and he took right tires. So he did take 4 tires. TJ Majors stayed out. So we'll see how that strategy plays out for him.
TJ Majors and Richard Fornshell stayed out. I'm looking at the times in the pit box. All of these guys, they did take 2 tires. One driver did not take any tires. That was Thomas Helsink. He just decided to use his fast repair and get on going again. Maybe top off on fuel.
Yeah, Anthony Pelican, he took 4 tires as well. So a 4-tire stop for the 19 truck. I think that's a good strategy. We're 33 laps in, about a third of the way into the race here tonight. 100-lap event, 75 miles here at Richmond Raceway. This is a D-shaped oval. Very exciting course. Love coming to Richmond. These trucks are always a thrill ride here at this beautiful course.
It's a thrill just to be watching these trucks go around Richmond. Richmond, kind of a flat track on the NASCAR schedule, especially in the short course terms. So these cars are going to be using a lot of all 4 tires. They're going to be sliding around, using that mechanical grip to their advantage. And these tires, well, they love to take a beating, but 33 laps on them. You're 33.333 repeating, of course, percent way through this race. And, well, it's probably the best place to take these tires, especially if you think another caution is about to come out later in this race, preferably around lap 66.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin, looking at the inside of TJ Majors here as we get ready to go. Greeny's on the throttle, and what a jump he gets on that 44 truck. That 44, James Harris, had a great run in Texas, and unfortunately was tangled up there at the end, but man, he finds himself up in P2, and my goodness, TJ Majors taking his iRacing experience and really putting it to good use tonight. Look at that lead he has coming down the backstretch.
Harris had a great jump. He's on fresher tires than TJ Majors and Richard Fornshell, as we're looking at Grant Enfinger on those 4 fresh new tires around him. Everybody else's, but he's the farthest up on those new tires. He's on the inside of George Young. They're going to go side by side. Enfinger using that superb grip to his advantage. That champion truck looking like a champion right now. And
absolutely.
F-150.
I would not be surprised to see Grant work his way up to the front now with those fresh tires. This is the opportunity for him to get up there and take that lead away from that 22 truck.
Now with these new tires, just some of these drivers might have to take a little bit of a chill pill. They have that extra grip. They don't want to be using it all away because a little bit too much overconfidence, and we might have another caution soon. That's going to be very beneficial for TJ Majors and James D. Harris and Richard Fornshell all up front, all on old tires.
Absolutely, you bet. We see a tight battle happening there between Brent Butler and Robert Nguyen. They're running pretty close together here, battling over P10. Then we have Eli Childs up into P13. He's working his way up through the field here. Russ Kilgore holding down P14. Having a great night. Good to see that 28 truck out here this evening.
Robert Nguyen. He had stepped out mid-quarter going into turn 4, and the 13 and the 16 of Kilgore and Eli Childs jump up in there.
What a move there, that 16, having to float up kind of high there through 2. Could be running on some older tires here, not able to hold that bottom. This course here just chews up that right front end. You can imagine driving these heavy trucks down into turn 1, putting that load on the brakes, rolling that right front tire. Here we go, 3 wide. Look at this, stacking it up in turn 1 and 2.
Oh, car's getting a little bit loose, a little bit of door banging right now. Some say rubbins racing. Well, it's certainly here at Richmond, you do have to rub to get a little bit racy here, especially when you're going side by side coming out turn 2.
I cannot believe how close these guys are getting. One thing in sim racing, you always have to be aware of the net code. That's a part of the internet that we all deal with. These trucks get close together. Sometimes they may connect, even though they may be just inches apart. These guys are pushing that limit unbelievably here at Richmond. You can see the scars on the right side of that 21 truck from them getting right up against each other.
Yeah, 21, Craig Jackson has a few bounce cars, 3 wide off the exit coming out of turn 2. Few cars getting a little bit loose, diving down to the inside. That's Nick Gardner in the 88. He dives down to the inside of Caleb Forbes, and they're side by side through 3 and 4.
Brent Butler brings him to the line there with Grant Enfinger right to his right as we move up and see the 19 of Anthony Pelican, and behind him, the 21 of Craig Jansak. He's still battling up near the front, holding down P4, but he's got a little bit of competition to his right there. But Pelican, man, what a run he's having tonight again up there in P3.
Anthony Pelican on those new tires, probably the biggest advantage of anyone in that top 2. Since James Harris went in on lap 20 and TJ Majors still running out there on old tires from the start. And we're almost halfway through this race.
It just shows the experience. You can see the drivers that have a very high tenure on the iRacing simulator platform. They know exactly what they need to do to protect those tires. And speaking of, Kevin Kershaw, he gets loose. That number 91 truck, that BSM Partners machine, getting down on the grass area, actually, in the tri-oval here at Richmond. But man, what a save. He brings it right back up into the pack.
Beauty of a save by Kevin right there. Back up to the bottom for second. James Harris and Anthony Pelican going nose to tail with each other. Anthony looking down to the inside as we ride on board with James Harris. Pelican sends it up there down low, and he's also joined with Craig Jasnak, and those two are up into second and third.
Boy, what a move by Craig there. He saw the opening, followed the 19 truck. Smart thing to do. Use that outside truck as a pick. They're going to get stuck out there in that outer lane. What a job to make that move, and quick response.
Yeah, a little pick and roll on a car of older tires. Let's take a look at TJ Majors up there in the lead. He's on tires all the way from the start, but he knows how to restart a truck here on iRacing, and he just flew away from the field, got into that clean air, and didn't look back. And I believe he's still got a 2-second gap to the cars behind him, but he's slowly losing time. Lap by lap, just a little bit, 0.07 of a second lost back there. But if he continues this form, he's going to be very comfortable until either a caution comes out or he goes in for his green flag pit stop. And I won't be surprised if he heads in halfway, especially if this race goes green.
Well, he's taking advantage of this opportunity right now to stretch that gap, see what he can do with the tires. It's going to let him know right now what he's going to be facing later on in the race. If we're faced with no cautions in those last 20, 30 laps, now he's going to know exactly what those tires are going to do for him.
Absolutely. As we have a lot of cars battling for grip right now. On the outside, Brent Butler almost getting into the wall as Grant Enfield, he goes down the inside. That is Craig Jasnak up in the wall. That 21 getting a few more battle scars, but a nice move by the 67 of Brent Butler.
I tell you what, those paint guys for that 21 truck are just cringing right now, watching that beautiful bodywork getting wrinkled coming off of turn 4 here tonight in Richmond. But I tell you what, that's what you need to do here to gather every bit of momentum and every bit of speed off of these exits here at this course. You can see how that driver rolls down to the bottom, and man, that wall just comes right at you. It just wants to reach out and grab you.
That wall comes out at you just like a scare master in a scare maze.
Yes, it does. Oh, what a run here. We see that 88 of Nick Gardner. Look at the move he's making down into turn 1 here on that 44 truck of Harris. What a move, and here we go, the 13 doing the same thing we saw earlier. taking advantage of that run on the inside. Eli Giles, but not able to do it. James gets a good run off too. Closes the door, heading down into 3 here, and he gets that gap right back up onto the bumper, onto the 88.
James Harris has 11 lap older tires than the 2 cars on his right in front of him, right behind him. So he needs to be extra careful to hug that inside line, because that inside line is preferred here for all the passing. Just don't want to give any of these guys a little bit of opportunity. As we're looking back down the field, John Thatcher, Kevin Kershaw, and Richard Fornshell, as well as Bobby Grant in this battle for 15th. Side by side, these two are going.
Good to see John Thacker out there, and that Thacker machine, and speaking of, he gets a little loose coming off the corner. That number 56 is missing a little bit of his number on the right side of the door there.
I was telling you that these guys are going to be busy in the paint shop after this. And look at that switchback move down the inside. Richard Fornshell in that 40. Thomas Heslink in that 45 making a move on Richard Fornshell. Side by side they go. Thomas with a great move in that duck coat machine heading into turn 1, and he's going to seal the deal.
Yeah, he sure is, boy. What a move on Fornshell there. Let's see how that number 90 reacts to it here over these next couple of laps. Looking back up to the front here, his drivers are just roaring off these corners. Love the sound of these trucks. That speed shot is something to watch.
It reminds me of Speed TV. Crank it up, moments. The original Crank It Up.
That's right. Yeah, the good old days, right? Now, as we look at the rear end of that Menards truck there, Nick Gardner having a good solid run tonight in that number 88, holding down P6 right here. Another very patient driver, really just settled in well a couple weeks ago at round 1. He's our race 1 winner here, so he's already got himself a great set of points to start off the championship, and finds himself leading those championship points coming into tonight's race.
TJ Majors is starting to pull away from Anthony Pelican and Brent Butler, and the reason why Butler and Pelican are starting to have a little bit of a squabble with each other.
Look at this as the Carolina nut truck of Anthony Pelican and that dialed-in racing machine comes roaring up off of turn 4 here, getting a little bit of threat there from that driver behind in that number 67.
Yeah, maybe feeling a little bit pressured by Brent Butler, but definitely not keeping the same pace. Probably just looking after his tires now. He got back up to where he wanted to be. Pelican up 3 spots from where he started. Brent Butler, he started in 2nd place. He's down into 3rd as we're starting to hit some lap traffic, and this is where it's going to get very interesting. We're going to see the leaders pick and choose their way, and we might see a little bit of pick and rolls and maybe a bit of shake and bacon happening here at Richmond.
And possibly a little bit of contact, a little bit of rubbing racing, I'll bet you. As we watch the rear end of that Carolina nut truck, these 2 drivers here running in tandem because they're both with Dialed In Racing. Both these drivers on the same race team. As we look back at Brent, boy, I tell you what, he likes to slap that back end up against that wall like a flapjack, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, a lot of sparks popping out right there. A little bit of flash of the pan moment. Speaking of sparking it against the wall, Grant Jazak's in the wall just a little bit more as Grant Anfinger ties down the inside, but Craig ain't going to have any of it.
No, he's not. Bringing that 88 to the line. He's going to have him by a half a truck length, and I think he's going to be able to seal the deal here. Going down into 1. You see that truck dive down that nose. He really had to get hard down on the brakes, knowing he's going to have that driver out to his right, and what a move. Beautiful. Got right up underneath. Here comes the 21. Looking back to the bottom in that Ride TV machine.
Jaznak really wanted to go for that switchback. He's been very aggressive on the brakes, but he's just killed his tires in the last 2 quarters, and here comes Eli Childs. Down the inside, side by side they go into turn 1, and Eli is going to have that move made to midnight right now.
Unbelievable. The farm paint truck getting it done, moving himself up into P6. Now looking at the 97 coming down pit road here.
Brendan Wallace into the pits. Green flag. He does have a lot of issues on that back end. That thing's bent in like a potato chip right there.
Yeah, right. Now he may be coming in to try a little strategy play here.
Indeed.
Get some fresh tires, get a little bit of repair done on the truck, hope that a caution comes out here soon. Very quick to go laps down here, as you can imagine, folks. 3/4 mile track. These trucks hitting speeds of 140 mile an hour down into these corners. These laps go by very quickly here at Richmond.
The laps go by very quickly. 22, 23, I would say 23.5 second average lap time around here. And an average pit stop time from start of pit lane to end of pit lane is about 50 seconds. So you're going 2 laps down at least in just one pit stop.
And with it being a 100-lap race, Austin, there's just very little time to recover. As we look at that 28 truck, Russell Kilgore, quite a bit of damage on the right side of his vehicle. That 13, oh, go ahead.
Kilgore took a big slap right there as watching our battle for 5th in class. Eli Giles, Nick Garner, and Craig Jasnak. All these guys nose to tail with each other. They're starting to get back up on the 34, who just came out of the pits.
What a battle we have here for 5th place with Eli Childs in that number 13 farm paint truck. Nick Gardner in that beautiful Menards bright machine, as we're all very familiar with. Great to see him out there tonight and having another good night. Oh, we see that 97 truck having some more issues out there again. That's a shame for Brandon Wallace there. Looks like he's back out on course now, but gosh, there you go. Oh, there it is. Gets that back in around, but look at the save. He does not into the wall. There you go. That's certainly going to put a wrinkle in your day. Hate to see that for Brandon, tearing up that nose. We see the quick repair happening on his truck there, so he will be getting back out on course. But with just 30 laps remaining in the race here tonight, we look at 11th through 15th. Now, what a battle happening here. We're getting into those closing 29 laps of our 100-lap Farm Paint 100 tonight.
Yeah, these guys right here, especially this battle for 13th. Stephen Pless, Russ Kilgore, Bobby Grant all nose to tail of each other. They were a bit side by side earlier as they're coming out of 2, and the exit out of 2 is very important. It's also the very easiest way to lose the truck. So we see both these guys diving down low. That's the back end stepping out. And they're just also defending from any potential dive down the inside. And you got to be very careful.
You have to be so careful, especially in turn 4 there, trying to get to throttle and get that speed up off the corner is very difficult when you're underneath someone trying to make a move. Bobby Grant making a move to the inside. Wonder if our director can find that 84 truck out there. Let's see if he can locate him. See if he's able to track him down. There he is. Mr. Birthday Boy there, Michael Potter, celebrating a birthday, driving that BSM Motorsports truck here this evening. Want to send happy birthday wishes as we see him getting a kiss from Richmond Raceway to the right side of that truck as he nails the wall there. A little birthday kiss for you, Michael. Sorry to see that, buddy. But, yeah, big birthday wishes out to him.
Well, I think his big birthday present, it won't be a big finish here, but it's definitely going to be some moments to remember here at Richmond.
Absolutely. He may have had a little bit of celebrating early tonight, but good to see him out there on the track with us this evening. All right, we got our eyes on that TJ Majors, the guy that's been around iRacing for many, many years, is actually a recorded spotter on iRacing. That's right. For members, they can actually select TJ Majors as one of their spotters in their trucks. So TJ's, you don't get any more familiar with iRacing than what TJ Majors has.
He's actually my spotter on iRacing. I remember I was racing in a hostess session right beside him, and it was kind of funny hearing him say "car outside" while you were racing
next to him. Oh, that's great! I love it. Look at this battle here,
guys.
3 wide. 3 wide coming out of 4. What a battle we have here. 11th through 15th. Russ Kilgore, Stephen Pless in that 69, finding his way back up into this battle.
Trey Jackson is out wide as a 14. Bobby Grant sends it down to the inside. But Trey says, no, sir, you don't. I found this secret. I'm taking the middle line. But he sends up sparks like 4th of July as he runs up on the wall. And down the inside goes Bobby Grant on Trey Jackson. But Trey's holding it outside line. It's a very peculiar line. Cuts in front of the 41, that Seal Master truck. But Bobby Grant has got that move for 11th.
Unbelievable. Look at the 3 coming up on the 14. Oh, I thought there was going to be contact there. That was close. Trey Jackson just getting a huge run off the corner, having to check up. Oh, look at the 69 coming down on the inside here. Is he going to make that move on Trey Jackson? He's right up against his back end there.
There was no room to do it. We saw a bunch of smoke right there. I think a truck just blew its engine. I think that was one of the laps cars, and we're looking at Russ Kilgore taking that outside line. Robert Lawrence is in the pit lane again, and his engine did blow up. No caution here at Richmond. TJ Majors leading out by almost 5 seconds. He knows how to pick his way through this traffic. Whoa,
Thomas Hessling gets loose out of 2. What a save. Boy, that's I guess the 3rd time I've seen the side of Hessling's truck coming off of a corner. He did quite a dance at Texas Speedway as well. This guy's got quite the crafty steering input there behind that wheel. What a driver.
And speaking of crafty, this is a crafty move on the inside of the 41. More sparks from Trey Jackson in front of him as Stephen Pless goes down to the inside. But Thomas Hessling getting that duck coat car a little bit of a workout today as he's making moves up front. And the front of him is Trey Jackson, and that car has seen better days. It needs a little bit of love and attention, especially in the bodywork department.
Oh man, I tell you what, there are so many trucks that have numbers missing on the right side of their vehicle. We see a little bit of contact there. Hessling gets into the back of the 3 truck. The 3 maintains that bottom lane, is able to hold it down there. Oh, and Hessling makes contact. Now the 3's back into the back into Hessling.
Look at the 41 of Carroll. He's coming out of nowhere.
Unbelievable, that 41 truck. James Carroll being patient, just holding on to that truck now. Now he's worked his way up next to Hessling.
We got some fans for James Carroll in our chat. Quote, shake and bake, buddy, shake and bake.
Hey, there he goes. All right, now we're back to the front here. Grant Enfinger right up on the back end of the 13 of Eli Childs, making a strong run here at the end. 17 laps to go in our event tonight. We see that 90 truck again.
Oh, no!
Oh, no, it looks like the 25. No, the 28.
16.
Into the wall, and the 16. Both have severe damage on their vehicle. Let's see if we get a caution here.
Oh, caution is definitely out right there.
Caution is
and that
out.
has saved TJ's Majors race. He was running so low on tires and fuel. But what was weird about that move, the 16 of Russ Kilgore veered left, looked like he saved it, and then it just suddenly snapped right straight into another car, pinning him against the wall.
That's, you know, the pressure that was being put on with those guys back there. They were running so tight, and this track is so difficult to maintain those lanes. When you come up off that corner, you're getting all that wind current coming around the truck. You're trying to maintain that middle line. You've got somebody inches from your right, inches from your left, or somebody inside your rear quarter panel. It's a game of inches here at Richmond. That's all it really comes down to.
Game of inches, a game of tires and bodywork as everybody is coming down pit lane. Majors, Pelican, Butler, Childs, Enfinger, your top 5 entering pit road. Who's going to win this race off pit road, and who's going to have the strategy to win this race with 15 laps to go here at Richmond? 4 tires, early stop for the 19. It's going to be a side-by-side finish on the cross line. Anthony Pelican is going to win the race off pit road.
Yeah, TJ Majors getting those critical 4 tires. We knew he was going to need them. The 67, Brent Butler, going with 4 tires as well. This is going to be an interesting strategy here for that 19 truck.
Michael Potter stayed out as well. He went in on lap 20. He's going to do it right now. I think he was just going to try to get his lap back and pit as late as possible and get his 4 tires as well. But Anthony Pelican dethroning TJ Majors from the lead of this race for the first time tonight. The California Nut Truck, well, their pit crew is certainly nutty right now. If they got those lug nuts on those tires faster than TJ Majors guys did by 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, what an amazing pit stop. He just nailed that box on the entry. They got that truck up quick, got those tires on, got him back out. Question is, does he have enough fuel? Is that why he gained those 0.2? So let's see how this plays out.
Well, the pit box time for Pelican and Majors, 14.5 seconds for Pelican, 14.7 seconds for Majors. It was the pit entry and exit for Anthony Pelican that got him that spot. A whole 4 seconds faster than TJ Majors. So he really nailed that pit entry time.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out when they come down into 1 with Anthony having that inside advantage. Is TJ going to be able to maintain that outside line so that when Pelican comes off a 2, he's got him blocked there. He's got that outside faster end exit, and that's going to be important for him to hold that there. If the 19 truck gets up in front of TJ, he's going to be able to control the rest of this race.
The 19 might do what TJ's been doing all day. Early on the restarts, we got a replay of our incident. Here's the 76 of Caleb Force coming around at turn 2. And on the exit, the incident actually happens right in front of him. But Caleb is just, well, he's kind of in the line of the danger zone right now. As here's the incident. Watch the 16 in front of him. Gets a little bit sideways, shoots down left, and comes up the track straight into the 97 and the 76.
Ugh. Heartbreaking for some of these guys. And a lot of these drivers were here Sunday night for practice, putting in hours of time on their simulator, really trying to get themselves dialed in for this event tonight, and it can end so quickly. You can certainly understand why these drivers get so frustrated in real life when incidents occur that just aren't necessary. Here we go.
12 laps to go. Let's go racing here for the Champion Power Equipment Fall Brawl. 11 laps left here at Richmond.
Here we go, that Anthony Pelican, number 19
we got
machine.
a big crash.
Oh, we got a big crash in the back. 1, 2 drivers into the wall. Hate to see that for the 69 truck gets involved. And now coming down into the bottom, into that wall on the inside, trying to avoid the incident. Just couldn't get it. Michael Potter, the birthday boy. Man, just an unfortunate day he's having.
And we got a truck on fire. That's Stephen Pless. He's got engine damage, and he's got the most damage out of everybody. He would spin around like a top on the back straight.
Unbelievable. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back to see what actually took place there out of 2. We'll be right back.
Breland Homes is now one of the most trusted names in the home building industry, as well as one of the Southeast's top new construction home builders. Breland Homes offers affordable single-family and luxury townhomes with exceptional value throughout Alabama and northern Florida. Buying a new home with us is a one-of-a-kind experience, where our homes speak for themselves and our people make the difference. Breland Homes. Less money, live better.
We breed the best of the best and want our farm looking its best. The Farm Paint Store makes it easy. They've got everything. Fence paint, barn paint, even dustless footing for our arena. Oh yeah, customer service is important too, and Farm Paint delivers. This is our home. We plan on protecting it for future generations. All it takes is Farm Paint.
My name is Grant Enfinger.
I'm Shane Lineberger.
Meu nome é Kaique Pacheco.
Casey Curry.
Jason Lentz. I'm a professional lumberjack.
I'm a professional bass angler.
I'm a professional off-road racer and a Champion Power Equipment.
A Champion Power Equipment.
And the Champion Power Equipment sponsored athlete. We use a Champion generator down on pit road to get our truck started every single race.
When we get out of the water, we got to make sure our boat stays in good shape. So we crank up a Champion pressure washer and hose it down to keep it clean.
Because when you're in the middle of the desert, it's good to have a reliable source of power.
E quando eu preciso de uma fonte confiável de energia.
And when I want the job done right, I don't look any further than Champion Power Equipment.
At work, at home, or at play, it's a name I can count on.
Stoked to partner with Champion Power Equipment.
I'm thrilled to be partners with Champion Power Equipment.
I'm excited to partner with Champion Power Equipment for the upcoming season and see you at the next race.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Fall Brawl E-Series. That's right, the Champion Power Equipment Green Mountain Grills Fall Brawl E-Series. What an incident we had here as we take a look at the replay. This was with about 11 laps to go. Coming out of turn 2 here. Contact happened way up there between 2 trucks. Caused 3 trucks to go down, hit the inside wall. We had contact here with the 67, the 84, Michael Potter. Oh, boy, what a birthday that guy's had today. Unfortunately for him, to see him battered around as he is, he'll be looking for a nice cool drink after tonight's race and a little relaxation.
The start of the system was the 14 middle corner of turn 2. This big slide right there, and that was Robert Grant. Took a big slide, smacked it into the wall, but everyone trying to avoid that just went straight to the bottom and caused a massive domino effect. But here, up front, Anthony Pelican and Brent Butler. Butler on that restart managed to jump TJ Majors, so now we have an entirely new front row. Anthony Pelican controlling the pace, Brent Butler right beside him, TJ Majors and Grant Enfinger right behind him, making up row number 2, but it's all in the hands of the 19 in that Carolina Nut car as the iRacing pace car is pulling off right now. Let's go back racing with 5 laps to go here at Richmond.
Anthony Pelican bringing that Carolina Nut truck down into turn 1, and he's got about a 4-truck lead coming into the corner.
TJ Majors has jumped 2 trucks on that restart. He's back into second place, trying to make up some move on Pelican, but here comes Enfinger on the back of Brent Butler. These trucks are nose to tail of each other, sliding all the way up, hard into the wall goes Butler.
Butler's going to drop 4, 5, 6 positions as Kevin Kershaw goes by in that 91. Now Butler and Kershaw are side by side. The 44 of James Harris. What a move he's making.
Oh no,
Kevin's around. Oh, he saves it. He hits the wall. He's able. Oh, now the 41 is into the 91. We've got another wreck coming out here. 3 laps remaining, and we've got a big collision. We should see they're down on pit road. We may stay green here with 3 laps remaining. We are staying green.
He got wrecked into the pit lane, and we're going to be staying green as this Pelican Majors racing their way here over to white flag conditions, but it's 2 laps to go before they can do it. Just 3/4 of a mile, and TJ Majors last lap, fastest lap of the race. Can he catch up to the 19 of Anthony Pelican?
He's doing everything he can, coming off a 2, taking that car right out to the wall. Grant Enfinger back there in 3rd in that Champion Power truck, doing everything he can to get back up to the bumper of that number 22 of TJ Majors as Pelican brings him along across the line with the white flag.
White flag in the air. Major's going to try everything he can. Pelican is going to try to have the cleanest lap of his life right now. Coming in a treacherous turn 2. Pelican.
DJ Majors coming right up onto his back end here, coming into 3. DJ drives it in deep. Anthony holds the bottom, very nice. DJ comes up high, takes it all the way to the wall. Anthony Pelican in that 19 Carolina Nut truck. What a victory for him tonight.
What a victory for Anthony Pelican and his boys on pit row, who won this race for him. A fantastic pit stop strategy for him and a fantastic pit entry for him. 4-second advantage over the dominant TJ Majors, and Anthony Pelican dialed in, and he's gonna burn it down here in Richmond.
Oh yeah, light him up, Anthony. You deserved it, buddy. What a run he had tonight in that number 19 truck. Absolutely amazing. What a job out of that Carolina Nut machine. They had that thing dialed in for tonight's race. There is no question about it. We'll look forward to talking with Anthony here in just a few minutes. We'll be right back after these messages.
Have you been searching high or low for that classic muscle car or hot rod from your youth? Do you need help selling one from your own personal collection? Shelton Classics and Performance is one of the Southeast's most premier classic car and truck dealerships. With over 100 classics in stock at any time, we're here to help you find your dream ride. We can also help you store your dream ride. Stop in and check out our showroom today or visit us online.
Champion Power Equipment provides the power that makes your life easier for home, work, or play. Portable generators and inverters, home standby generators, winches, log splitters, water pumps, pressure washers, and other outdoor power equipment. Whether you need a reliable source of power, an extra hand, something to get you out of a jam in a moment's notice, or just the right tool to get the job done, the Champion Power Equipment family of products provide power, dependability, and peace of mind.
We breed the best of the best and want our farm looking its best. The Farm Paint Store makes it easy. They've got everything: fence paint, barn paint, even dustless footing for our arena. Oh yeah, customer service is important too, and Farm Paint delivers. This is our home. We plan on protecting it for future generations. All it takes is farm paint.
The 10 most common words used to describe food you'll cook on your Green Mountain Grill. Delicious, delectable, savory, scrumptious, gourmet, flavorful, tasty, mouth-watering, appetizing, unforgettable. And the one word they'll use to describe you? Grill Master.
Welcome back, everyone, to Richmond Raceway. What an evening we have had here. As you see, the camera flashes going off. Our drivers down at on pit lane getting interviews. And, of course, our winner tonight, Anthony Pelican. What a drive he had in that number 19 dialed-in racing machine, the Carolina Nuts sponsored truck. What a job he put on for tonight's event. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the results here this evening. Finishing P2 tonight, it's going to be Mr. TJ Majors, the iRacing phenom out there, just leading nearly the entire race tonight. But those final 5 laps, as Anthony Pelican was able to get that incredible pit stop jump over TJ Majors. It was the only time we had a lead change this evening. TJ led every lap of the race tonight until that final 5 laps of green. Third place tonight, Grant Enfinger. That's right, that champion power equipment driver. We all know him from the Gander RV and Outdoor Series, NASCAR Series. So great to have Grant out here with us tonight, putting on just an incredible drive himself, just battling hard out there, although his truck looked pretty clean on the right side. So hats off to you, Grant, for staying out of that wall out of 4. So Grant and that number 88, another driver from that dialed-in racing team, or I'm sorry, the BSM racing team tonight. I wonder if he'll get together with his teammate there, Mr. Michael Potter, for a little birthday celebration for Michael tonight. Down in P4, Nick Gardner, what a run for him tonight in that dialed-in racing team machine. Great to see him out there capturing P4. Eli Childs, what a drive for Eli this evening. Dropped back, moved his way back up into the top 10, got back up into P5 there from Childs Motorsports. What a run for him this evening. Craig Jansak, what a job he put on in that number 21, that Bright Speed team machine. Oh my gosh, he had quite a battle. A lot of banging out there on his doors. That truck's going to need some serious body work tomorrow morning. James Harris, P7 from KN Racing. Great job for him tonight. P8, we find Brent Butler, my gosh, called his name tonight a lot as well. P9 going to Nate Lynch in that Lynch Motorsports vehicle. Great job for Nate. John Thacker, great job for him this evening as well in that number 25 truck. John Thacker, or I'm sorry, number 56 truck. Caleb Forsyth's going to start off our second group of 10 here in P11 in that Forsyth racing machine. James Carroll back there in P12. He made a good run at the end there, so good to see Carroll getting up into the top 15. Richard Fornshell in that number 90, that Blue Badger Motorsports machine, doing a great job tonight, coming in P13. Thomas Hesslink, boy, called his name a lot tonight. He really fought to get up there in that battle. Unfortunately, I believe he was tangled up in that little mishap there at the end. So P14 for him. Then we have the birthday boy, Mr. Michael Potter, P15 from that MSP Motorsports machine. Great to see him out there tonight, and hopefully he'll have a much better birthday party tonight than he had out on the track this evening. All right, moving down to P16, Bobby Grant. What a job for him out of Grant Brothers Racing. Having a good run tonight. I know he was looking to have a little bit better finish, but good solid run in P16. John Fix finds himself in that Sentinel Motorsports machine back there in P17. Stephen Pless in P18 tonight in that, which I love, Lemonade Stand Racing machine. What a great name there, Stephen. Trey Jackson, Jackson Motorsports. Gosh, boy, called his name quite a bit tonight. Just hate hated to see him get tangled up there at the end. So Trey coming in P19. Rounding out the top 20, Robert Nguyen in that Nguyen Motorsports machine, number 16, capturing P20. George Young back there in P29 from Young Motorsports. Good to see George out there with us tonight. Russ Kilgore, boy, he made some great efforts throughout the battle tonight, but finds himself in P2 in that Rod Baker Ford racing machine. Robert Nguyen Jr., P23 tonight from Nguyen Motorsports. Good job to see Robert out there this evening. I think there's two of those drivers from that Nguyen Motorsports team. I think there's a bit of a relation there as well. P24, Brandon Wallace in that Wallace racing machine. Great job for him. And Kevin Kershaw, hate to see him in that 91 back there. Boy, he was really putting the pressure on there at the end. Thought he was going to come away with a top 5 tonight. Unfortunate for him. And then L&L Racing, Robert Lawrence in that P26 position, that number 34. Having a little bit of bad luck this evening, but still able to get the job done. Unfortunately, 24 laps down, though, at the end. Well, there we go. I'll tell you what. That was quite an event tonight, Austin. I would say just slightly a little bit of edge-of-the-seat viewership for some of the fans out there tonight.
It certainly was a edge of our seat, especially that ending part of the race. But from start to finish, the Farm Paint 100 for the Champion Power Equipment Fall Brawl, bringing us a brawl from start to finish. Edge of your seat action here on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, we have some drivers here that we can grab for interviews. I'm going to start off with Mr. TJ Majors. Austin, I'm going to bring him up, and let's see what TJ has to say. We have TJ Majors stepping into the booth here in that number 22. TJ, how are you this evening? Do you have a copy, TJ? Oh, we don't have TJ. He may have stepped away from the mic here. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and grab our winner from tonight's event, Mr. Anthony Pelican. Anthony, do you have a copy? Hey, great to see you this week tonight, buddy. What a race you put on. And, you know, as patient as you were, you kept yourself in good contention because it was all about that pit stop at the end. But before we get to that, talk to us a little bit about what went on in the early part of the race. What was your strategy?
For the most part, I was just riding, trying to save my stuff. I knew we had 3 sets of tires, but I wasn't sure how long the first run was going to go. And not doing much racing around some of these guys, just trying to feel them out, figure out where they're going to go and how exactly they're going to make their move. So mostly just biding my time early in the race.
Well, I talked about that a little bit early on, about how patient you were at Texas 2 weeks ago, and it's paid off for you tonight. Obviously, patience was very critical here. A lot of self-inflicted spins this evening. We saw quite a bit of car contact there at the end. But did you feel like that TJ would just had the truck tonight, that you just really weren't going to have a shot unless you made a move like you did at the end?
Yeah, absolutely. When everyone came and got tires there and he stayed out and he was still able to gap us even though he had older tires, I figured he was definitely the strongest one.
Yeah, it appeared to us as well, but I tell you what, it was quite I hate to call it an underdog story, but the way TJ dominated the course tonight, you came in the pits, what a move, got into the entry, and I spoke about how you nailed that pit entry, and it made a 2/10 difference to get you out ahead of TJ, and I said to Austin, he's got that move, and he's got that line going into one, he's going to get the jump on the start. All he has to do is maintain that bottom lane. He'll be just fine. And you did it. Tell us about what you were thinking coming down pit road.
Basically, just don't mess up the entrance. Don't blow through the box.
Right? I don't know which foot you break with. I'm still a right foot breaker, but I bet you were trying to just baby that thing in there.
Yeah, for sure. Blown through way too many pit boxes in my iRacing time.
It's very easy to do, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Anthony, what a great race tonight. Congratulations to you, that Carolina nut truck getting it done for you. Boy, anybody you want to thank out there, I'm sure you have many. Anthony, you still have a copy?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Anybody you want to thank out there tonight?
Yeah, first off, I'd like to thank Champion and Green Mountain Grills for putting this on. I'd like to thank Farm Paint for sponsoring the race. And I'd like to thank Carolina Nut for sponsoring me. And last off, I'd like to thank my wife for getting me all set up here tonight. I got off work probably 5 minutes before the driver's meeting. Got home 2 minutes before the driver's meeting. So if she didn't get me in here, tonight wouldn't have been possible.
I tell you what, wives are amazing, aren't they? I'm the same way with mine. She's helped me in situations where I've had an issue with the system. She's right in here like a pit crew. So yes, I tell you what, that's great. Awesome to see that you guys are teammates. Then you and the wife with your truck racing. So that's wonderful to hear. Well, Anthony, enjoy that champagne tonight, buddy, and congratulations to you for your Farm Paint 100 win here this evening.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in Chicagoland in 2 weeks.
All righty. We'll see you then, buddy. Get some good practice in. Have a good night. Oh, bringing in the number 88 of Nick Gardner here. Austin, I'm going to let you have a chat with Nick and see how his evening went. Nick, you got a copy?
I got you.
Nick, what a race you had today. You stayed up near the front for most of it, but it was a very wild race off on your inside, on your outside, and close to that wall. That 88 Menards car of yours was looking pretty fine and got a few dents around there, but hey, you made it work.
Dude, I'm telling you, this feels like a win to me because I even told you guys 2 weeks ago when you interviewed me after the big win, I was a little nervous coming into Richmond, but thanks to my teammate, once again, Anthony, he really explained how to drive this place and, helped me understand a little bit better. And, yeah, I say I did pretty decent. I was hanging out 6th, 5th all day and then, got a little jumbled up on that final restart, so I was able to take advantage of a couple more spots and bring her home P4. I'll take her.
You mentioned that your teammate Anthony was helping you out with understanding this track. What was the most difficult part to Richmond that you were trying to figure out?
Well, all together all night, 1 and 2 for sure, because you kind of got to enter like half lane up and then slowly bring it down to the apron on corner exit, for me at least. So that kind of learning that, backing up my corners, finding out my lift points, my brake points, turn in, everything else. And then on the longer runs, 3 and 4, I feel like you really had to back your corner up to get to the yellow line, because I noticed a lot of people kept running the high line, obviously, or the half lane higher, mainly because the truck got so much tighter on the longer runs. So I was just trying to back her way down because I know how important tires were, and I was just trying to hang in there. And then I drove the tires right off like the last 4 laps, just trying to stay ahead of everyone else because I did not want to give up that 4th place. I just wanted to hang in there, and like I said, it feels like a win to me.
Well, 4th place is the winner, the first position outside of the podium. So, hey, a win in your book is always good to be going. So you're going to be exiting today a bit happy with a smile on your face. Nick, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah. I'd like to, first off, most importantly, I'd like to thank Champion Power Equipment for putting this whole deal on. Most importantly, I got invited to it, so I even feel even more thankful to be a part of this. And Green Mountain Grills being a part of it, and also Farm Paint as well for sponsoring the event. Like to thank Menards for being on the truck. And then all the other guys, and gals out there that also helped put this together. It's been fun. I mean, I know we're only 2 races in, and I'll be honest, I thought tonight was going to be kind of a wreck fest. I'll be honest with you. I've never raced with these guys. I don't know how we're all going to race. And the long green flag was, awesome. And it's just, I can't wait. I mean, I know we still got 4 more of these races, and I'm excited.
Well, it's great that you're excited for the rest of this series, and great for your first time out that Well, around these guys that everyone's racing so clean. Well, Nick, hope you have a great night. We're going to throw it over to Kevin. See who
Yeah,
he's standing with.
I actually have a quick question for Nick.
Sure.
You talked about driving around these other drivers that you're not used to running with, and I'm sure you've had league experience on iRacing, and that is a big thing. I'm sure as the season goes here, you guys will start to see I call it driver personality. You start to get a feel for drivers that like to they'll stick their nose in there. Some may not. Some are patient. Some aren't. That relationship driving out on track will develop as the season goes, but that is such a critical part of sim racing, especially.
Oh, for sure. And that's what the thing is like there's only 6 races, so we're quickly with all these practices that are being put up. We're quickly trying to learn how to be or know each other as we're racing, these races and going through practice. And so when you look at the guy behind you or in front of you, you kind of get an idea, will he really dive bomb me right there? You kind of get an idea who you're racing with. So
yeah, exactly.
But when you have races like tonight that last, like you have a 50 lap run or whatever, those are really fun. And if we can keep having races like that with only 1 or 2 cautions in it, especially the 1.5 miles and 2 mile races coming up, when that 6th race comes by, it might be kind of sad to, for this to go away, because so far it's been a blast racing with these guys. I've been a part of quite a few leagues, and by far this is a blast. It really is.
Fantastic. I always say having that eye in the sky, a little bit of race control for a sim league is always one to keep everybody's P's and Q's in order, right?
Yes, sir. You are correct. You are correct.
Indeed. Well, I tell you what, it was great chatting with you this evening. We look forward to seeing you at our next event here coming up in a couple of weeks, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. It sure is starting well off for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you to the broadcasters as well for doing a great job and what you guys do and making the scenes and video of our races look even more cooler. As we out here racing, battling, and everything else. So thank you guys.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. Thank you. It's been our pleasure. You guys have put on such a great show out there, so it makes our job easy. So, yeah, absolutely. Well, Chicago Motor Speedway is our next event. How do you feel going into that one?
Oh, I'm stoked. I am stoked. I actually really like that place. Probably, I don't like it as much as Texas, because the new rebuild that iRacing did at Texas, I'm in love. That is so fun to run. So obviously I was able to capitalize on that one. So yep. Chicago, I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully me and my teammate Anthony, we can tackle that one together and do a little drafting and kind of help each other out with that one. And I'm stoked. I love my 1.5 2 mile racetracks. I love them. Short tracks, I just try to hang in there, save the right front, and let her eat. So.
Well, I tell you, it was a good strategy for you tonight, no doubt, man. Keeping it up in those points. So good deal, buddy. Well, we sure appreciate you chatting with us, and we will we'll look forward to talking with you hopefully again in Chicago.
Yes, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. You have a great night, buddy. You guys have a safe trip to Chicago.
Will do, man. Thank you.
All right. See you, bud. All right, well, great interview there with Nick. I think we have Grant Enfinger. Let's see if we can get a hold of Grant here. Grant, do you have a copy?
I got you.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? What a run for you tonight. Keeping it up on the podium. I want to talk to you a little bit about the early part of the race. What was your strategy? Didn't get quite the qualifying I think you wanted, but still, you had a good start tonight.
Yeah, overall it was. I felt like I was trying to, conserve the tires, maybe a little bit too much there for that. The first couple runs were pretty short runs, so I felt like I held the tires up pretty good there for that. And then after we pitted at lap 30 or 35, when we went that long green flag run, I thought again that I was holding on to my tires pretty good, but man, TJ was just incredible with his long run speed there, so he didn't even pit, and he'd yarded all of us. So definitely have a few things to learn from him on a long run here in iRacing.
Yeah, and I would imagine that it's, you know, we talk about how the similarities and the attributes of racecraft and being around other vehicles and, you know, the benefits you get out of driving at a track like Richmond here before you would go to it in real life. You still get a lot of that same sensation. What you do lose, obviously, is, you know, the physical load on your body, that sensation in the rear end that you get, you know, or I should say the rear end of our body, not the truck. That little bit of seat of the pants feel. But when you talk about the run that TJ Majors had, that long green flag run, and how he was able to continue, we were watching his lap times, and he was just knocking them dead lap after lap after lap, just very slight variances, and was able to keep that pace. What does that do for you as a driver with the real life experience you have on the sim, watching somebody pull away from you like that, knowing you guys are all driving the exact same setup?
Yeah, it shows you got to put the work in for sure, you know. And there's obviously different tendencies on here than we you know see in real life. But man, there's also a lot of things that are the same, you know. And the throttle control and really in here these setups seem to build so tight. Normally you're wearing out your right front tire. So somebody that's good at backing their corners up, being very disciplined. You know, I was talking to TJ just a minute ago. So he was backing up his corners, I think, more than anybody else here, and making it all the way to the yellow line, which we were all trying to do that, but probably more times than not we were overdriving it. So, but man, it was a good time. Appreciate Champion Power Equipment, Green Mountain Grills, and Farm Paint all for putting this on, and all the guys at Blackstone, especially Jessica and John Loper and Kevin and all those guys for putting this on. It's definitely a good show. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the broadcast as well.
I'm sure they did. You guys put on an amazing show out there tonight on track, and that's really what it's all about. I mean, it was a thrill ride for Austin and I, and it was just great to call the event. And Grant, we really appreciate you being a part of the series and bringing your talents out here and letting these guys have an opportunity to dance around someone that really knows what to do. So, but Grant, we do appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for coming out and being a part of the series, and great run tonight. Congrats to you.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to TJ for coming out and ask him. He had to get a little distracted, so ask him about that when you interview him.
Oh, we will do that. You bet. Thank you for the ammunition. All right, Grant. You take care, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, let's see if we have that number 22 there, Mr. TJ Majors. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm wonderful. We got you in the booth here. I'm going to hand you over to Austin, let him give you a little rundown on, well, actually, we have an interesting question for you. Go ahead, Austin.
Well, our last interviewee had something that you were a little bit distracted at some point. Can you let us know about that?
Yeah, enlighten us on that.
Yeah, so I had a interview lined up with Player B, and I was trying to get a little bit of a lead on Anthony Pelican there. I figured if I could get about 5 seconds out front, I could give up a couple tenths a lap and still win, but then the caution came out right as I was calling, so I didn't have my headset on. I was creeping down pit road, lost the lead on pit road, and then I had to do the last two restarts with no headset on and everything, so it was still fun. But yeah, a little bit distracted. The
okay, I would say so.
That's where they were fun.
Next question is, how'd that interview go?
Oh, it went really good, man.
Right,
yeah,
well, good. That's all that matters.
Really good. I was able to, the only part that I stumbled on is I got into the wall out of 4 trying to catch Pelican with like 2 to go or something, and that was about cussed a little bit, but I didn't, thankfully.
Yeah, good job. Well, I tell you, TJ, you led this race just magnificently this evening, and obviously you're a veteran of iRacing, and if anybody knows how to get the job done around Richmond, it's probably you. So, what was it like for you? You know, were you really just trying to manage your tires, run a pace that you were comfortable with, or was, you know, how did it feel out there for you tonight?
Yeah, I was just 100% managing my tires. just rolling around the bottom, listening to my tires on entry, not trying to scrub them or anything. I was 100% doing that, and I knew if one of them guys got to me and wanted to go around me, I would have let him go, because I was just running my own race at that point, and I knew if we could get a long green flag run, I could probably be pretty successful on it. But I didn't really think it would come with some guys having 30 lap better tires than me, which made me really nervous. But I was able to get a good restart and get out a little ways, and Pelican started running me down, but he burned his stuff up trying to do it, and I was just cruising around. I was still just kind of cruising, saving my stuff, and it just kind of paid off, man. I was rolling there at the end, so really would have liked to stay green.
Boy, I bet you would have, and obviously, this is a track very well. Austin and I were commenting on it during the event, how well you were managing your tires, your patience on entry. You just had the car just balanced out tonight. It was a very impressive drive. I think Austin was going to ask you a moment ago about that pit stop at the end. Of course, we understand now what took place. We figured something must have happened. It was either Anthony, he got out of the pits just a hair quicker than you did, and but boy, you did a great job hanging in there. It must have been tough to watch him drive away there at those last couple laps.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I didn't hit the wall coming to the white flag, I think, or with 2 to go, I think I could have maybe got to him. But yeah, the pit road deal, I was either going to speed or probably lose the lead, and I chose just lose the lead over speeding because I figured I still have a shot at that point. But yeah, it's pretty hard not hearing your motor and talking on the phone and trying to maintain a pit road speed. That's pretty difficult to do.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad we're talking about the virtual world. I hope there's no youngsters out there listening to us talking about driving and talking on the phone.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Exactly. We do not recommend that, obviously.
Yeah, then I'm spotting for myself too, so it makes it even more challenging.
Well, now that's an interesting conundrum. TJ Majors, who is a voice spotter on iRacing, does not have his own spotter. How does that work?
No, I do. Yeah, I mean, I got a spot for myself, right? I mean, that's
right.
If you don't, I guess you're not making yourself look very good, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, that's great. Well, TJ, we appreciate you being patient for the interviews here tonight. Didn't mean to grab you at the end, but we certainly wanted to get a word with you and compliment you on just an incredible drive tonight. You led the entire event until the final 5 laps, where Anthony jumped you in the pits there, and a slight bit of an unfortunate ending, but you made a good decision there to not get the speeding penalty and wind up P2 after all. So great job with that finish and run tonight. Very impressive.
I appreciate it, man. It's no problem waiting. Thank you guys for putting this on.
Absolutely. Well, we sure appreciate you guys being here and putting on the show you did. TJ, we'll look forward to seeing you at Chicago. You have yourself a great night, buddy.
Thank you, guys. You too.
Well, Austin, I'll tell you what a night we've had, huh?
Absolutely. We had one wild night here at Richmond, and it's certainly one to remember.
Yeah, you betcha. We're looking forward to Chicagoland. Again, that will be coming up in 2 weeks on November 4th. That will be the Green Mountain Grill's 120. Oh, man, that's going to be a barn burner, no doubt about it. We're looking forward to that one. That is a very fast speedway there. The big difference there is those drivers can just let those trucks roll right out off those corners there. No tight walls on exit. They can just let those motors rip-roar up into those straightaways there at Chicagoland. What a beautiful track. Looking forward to having a little visit to Chicago. How about you, Austin? A lot of great eateries there.
A lot of great eateries and a lot of great Chicago-style pizza, and I gotta say I prefer that over New York-style. And watch me get immediate hated from that. But hey, I like my deep dish.
I bet you, man. I am the same way. I love the deep dish too. You bet. Well, Austin, appreciate you being with us tonight. We appreciate our entire crew here at Apex Racing TV for putting on the broadcast. We do appreciate everyone there, and of course, everyone that put this entire event together. Champion Power Equipment, Green Mountain Grills, all the sponsors that you see on the trucks out there, everyone from BSM Partners, John Loper, Jessica, everybody there that Grant mentioned. what a team behind this entire production. They've all been wonderful to work with. Richmond iRacing Management, our staff has been just honored to work with everybody at the group there at BSM Partners. We do appreciate each and every one of you. And thanks to everyone out there in our viewing audience tonight. This has been the Fall Brawl E-Series Champion Power Equipment Farm Paint 100 tonight with the number 19 of Anthony Pelican bringing that truck to victory lane this evening. We will look forward to seeing all of you at Chicago Motor Speedway here in 2 weeks for the Green Mountain Grills 120 on November 4th. Good night, everyone.
Let's talk about clouds. How about a cloud of smoke? If you want to add smoke flavor to your food, you can, but you don't have to. Green Mountain's pellet grill is versatile enough to do either one. A whole lot if you want, or a wisp if you wish. Cloudy water? Not with Green Mountain. Clear as crystal. Your best choice for tomorrow's technology and today's food.